to take over our friggin' country. Maybe that's part of it.
Do you know what the problem is? It's empathy. That's the biggest problem. And then a few months later, do you know what the biggest problem is? The lack of empathy. And you can say that with a straight face to the camera, and you're just like, what? What planet does he live on? The problem is this.
Well,
okay, we'll
Mars,
stop doing that.
Mars is what he's named after, apparently.
He's named after Mars.
Yeah, there's some poem about Mars or
I'm
some
Idris
book.
Elba.
Hey, thanks for
I
the
goes where I goes.
JMD. But yeah, it's some book his grandfather loved, and then his dad loved, and then that's why he's named Elon, because it's a character in this book about Mars.
Yes, fair enough.
So just go back to your red, desolate planet and leave us alone, man.
Leave us the fuck alone.
Because what he doesn't
Leon.
understand, because the thing he doesn't understand is people. Right? Like that's his crutch, his Achilles heel is he's awkward as hell. He has negative 100 charisma.
When he goes down for all his crimes, will he be a felon or will he be a felon?
This is his stupid laugh. His ketamine coming out of his mouth in waves. He's probably got ketamine on his breath. And it's I always have to harp on like, well, my black ass couldn't get away with that. Bro, white people have been letting me down. Y'all's standards are so crazy. So this dude is a literal crook. All he does is steal and take welfare money and eat government cheese. And he's high as shit all the time. And he's an illegal alien. Come on. Come on. He's got the whole trifecta.
If you'd like to subscribe to Mikey's channel, it is at the Bin Podcast Network. The actual link is in the title of this particular
and if
episode.
You guys want to subscribe to the Politics Social channel, they're also in the title, so you can click the blue and go on over and give them a subby.
Cool.
Sub
cool,
them.
cool.
Make them your
Excellent.
sub. Dominate them.
We're going to talk about Liberation Day, mate. You're going to get liberated. Are you excited? Victory Day. Victory over Europe Day or something.
Remember about 6 months ago when I told everybody to start stocking up on canned food? Am I a prophet or what? Like, I'm telling y'all what is going to happen. He is going
EU countries
us.
are telling people to stock up. EU countries are telling people to have 3 days worth of food in just in case.
I'm crazy though, right? I'm just out here I'm out here dancing in the rain, talking to hummingbirds, some weird hippie dude. Yeah. But also right sometimes. But also right, because we still need to fight to restore the democracy, but we also have to be pragmatic about what we will not be able to expect to come in regularly. You know what I mean? Like we're buying soil and seeds. We have a
we have time to be alive.
We have a hydroponic thing in our kitchen.
Oh, that's good. Well, Chris C is saying the quicker the Grim Reaper takes Trump downstairs, the better. Do you know what? That's something that gets me up in the morning because I think that every day is one day closer to Trump's untimely demise. Actually, it wouldn't be untimely, would it? Until Trump's timely demise. Hurry up. But yeah, one day closer. One day closer. But yeah, Russell Cannon in the chat saying Liberation Day equals being liberated from your money. Silly money. You don't want money. You want jewels. That's what you want. Like killer jewels.
So I think this
energy.
I'm trying to control this dog and the monitor's going crazy because the dog's barking into the monitor, which is ricocheting in here. Shut up, dog. This is the moment. Right? Like this is the tip of the spear where the MAGA people, no matter how much I'm down for MAGA, da-da-da-da-da. Okay. And then when your truck needs a spring or some shit and it's actually manufactured in Europe and you're going to be like, $350? No. When that gas pump looks real crazy, when those prices start looking crazy, when summertime activities are way more expensive than they're supposed to be and you're not having fun, and then back to school hits and then you realize 97% of the fucking clothing in a Walmart is from out of country. Yeah. Walmart is not even paying their employees. Why the hell do you think they would pay your tariff for you? You're paying that shit. You're going to pay. You're going to pay.
Yes.
And there's
yeah,
no way around
pay.
it. You guys we have tried to pull the lever on the train for months, a year even, and you don't listen. So now everything is going up in price. And guess what? Doge isn't going to give you shit. They never promised you anything. Listen to when they say things. So we're going to save money and then give it to the city. No, that part doesn't come. They're just going to pocket that shit. All of this is to
I'm
go
laughing, but I'm crying inside, Mikey, because it's just so sad that you know, everyone with half a brain saw this coming. And like, I don't know, I'm still shocked by the lack of protest. I can understand why, you know, if you're not white, you might not want to go on the street with fucking Trump in the bloody White House. But
they monitor your cell phones. Keep that in mind, everybody. They track your cell phone data.
Yeah. Well, that's it. There's travel advisories going out to anyone in Europe, like saying don't go to the US because
you might not get back.
Social media. Yeah, they might throw you in a jail cell for 2 weeks.
In El Salvador.
3 weeks or 4 weeks. Yeah. And they can do that if you go into their country. So it's that thing of like, don't go into a crazy person's house who's got a gun because they might just kill you and then say, well, he came into my house. So it was okay because he was breaking in. So once you're on American soil, you're in trouble.
Speaking of which, when they start trying to deport people who don't like Tesla, you know, or people who protest against Tesla and they end up at some right-winger's house, I hope y'all got the ballistic shield. Them dudes is crazy. They have been waiting for this day. And now that he's talking about he wants to run a third term, I'm like, all right, Papa. That's, hey, I will be with my wife and kid probably at the park, you know, doing something very innocent. That is a horrible thing to say out loud, dude. Horrible thing to say out loud. Hi, baby.
Hello. Yeah, mate, it's not looking good. Like the stock market tanked again today.
Oh, who cares about what those nerds have to say?
Waiting for Liberation Day. Like Trump always loved to talk up when the stock prices were going up. He's like, no, it's like no one's ever seen before. You did better.
That was the tech bubble. Like that's the bubble that we're currently sitting in right now, where all of these like Nvidia and Tesla and Palantir, all these stocks were inflated. They're all on this what do they call it? Vaporware. They're all and then the same thing with the all the AI shit, and then DeepSeek comes out and they're like, maybe we should diversify. That was your sign. As soon as China put out one for free, that was your sign. Okay, maybe we shouldn't put, I don't know, $20 billion into this. Like maybe we shouldn't do that. But hey, they are bound and determined to ruin everything just to keep their pockets fat. I don't know what they're going to. Well, the MAGA people they're along for the ride. Like they're in the cold train with us. Like they have no control over what's going on anymore. The dum-dums in the cabinet. I'm just wondering, once they fill their pockets, which it looks like no one's going to be able to stop them.
Yeah.
What are you going to spend it on? Where are you going to go? To the beach? You're going to get in your yacht? You want to go catch a movie? You want to watch the new movie? Like, what do you like? If you turn everything into a barren wasteland for cash, where do you expect to spend said cash?
But who's going to buy anything? Like, you're not going to have any cash to like any extra cash because
no. I'm talking about these billionaires who are the guys who are actually going to save money and get these tax cuts and be excited about it. Like,
oh yes,
where do you plan on? What do you want to go like to cruise down the strip and like take a look at do some people watching? There will be no people there. What shops will be open? You're going to be looking for food like us. Like, you're dumb. You don't get to have a party. It's like, aha, I win Monopoly. It's like, no, you have no friends left. That's how Monopoly always wins. Ended friendships.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean it is what is it? Capitalism in a microcosm, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Monopoly, because you just end up with some worthless shit at the end of it, and you fall out with all your mates, and it doesn't make you happy.
And there's like a 15% chance of ending up in jail for absolutely no reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I've got a picture which I'm just about to put on the screen here next to us. I've got a picture of Elon Musk wearing a cheese hat. Can you just explain this to the audience at home? Why the fuck has he got a piece of cheese on his head? Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to my camera so you can see
is
what
it
I'm
the
talking
wedge,
about?
the wedge of cheese?
Yeah. There's a wedge of cheese on his head.
So
I saw it and I thought it was like AI or something. I thought it was like, the computer generated to make him look like a tit. But this is a cheese head. This is a Wisconsin cheese head. Explain it, please.
So their big football team is the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers, their nickname is the Cheeseheads. And they have like foam, those foam heads. And he flew into Green Bay, I think, to have that little...
That's a horrible name. Because I think a cheesehead, I think, I better go to the doctors.
Wisconsin's famous for their cheese. They have lots of cheese, lots of dairy farmers. It's true.
You need to wash more.
What?
Sorry.
What's
a cheese head?
Yeah.
I'm saying a cheesy head. I'm saying you need to wash more. Oh, you wouldn't get that because all you Americans are cut, aren't you? That's an American thing. We're not allowed to talk about this. It's a weird American thing. They don't like talking about stuff like this. They don't, And they think we're prudish. They think us British people are like...
Well, I just wouldn't think you go straight to penis talk. I thought we were making fun of Elon and we're just talking about penises.
He's got a chunk of cheese on his head. I mean, just like what? So this is the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, which is supposed to be non-political, right? Non-political, and it's had what $100 million poured into this campaign to get this guy on the Supreme Court of Wisconsin.
See, the thing is, it's almost like money can't buy popularity. I think, people are going to go in there and they're going to take your fucking check. They're like, yo, no, let them do it. We'll take $1 million. Shut up. Let them do it. Telling me how to vote. Like, because he's hated.
You don't think he's going to win? You don't think he's going to win?
The polls are saying it'll be close. It's going to be tight. But I think the more that Doge does and the more that Trump does all this stuff, because I mean the election's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they won't. I mean that Liberation Day bullshit won't kick in yet. But you know what I mean. Like if it was the 3rd, this would be a cinch, because as soon as people start like, what the. F-150 is $75,000. Like as soon as that sticker shock of, oh shit, this is permanent.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What are we supposed to do now? Like as soon as that kicks in, if that would have kicked in before the Supreme Court election, we'd be in better shape. But I mean, Wisconsin is something else. There's a lot of different people because half of Wisconsin is very rural. It's kind of like Illinois, but like inverted. So like the northwest and west is very rural.
Yeah.
And then all towards near the lake is very urban and suburban. So like the suburbs of Milwaukee don't go out quite as far as like Chicago's does, but there's a decent amount of people. Like I have tons of family in Milwaukee and Green Bay and stuff like that. So we'll see. I think they're in good shape though. And the more damage Idiot with the Chainsaw does, the better it is for all of us.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, like Elon Musk is just notoriously unpopular at the moment. There was a special election last week, wasn't there, where there was someone who a Democrat won in a ruby red part of a state, and a part of a state that had gone 15 points to Trump in the election in November, which was not even 6 months ago. Bloody hell. It's been a long 6 months.
I feel 3 years older.
Yeah.
At least.
Donald is saying, will these tariffs make goods outside the USA cheaper? No. It's going to drive up prices for everyone everywhere in the world. Like Donald Trump, by the time he carks it, he is going to be the most unpopular human being who ever lived in history. Like he's going to be more unpopular than Adolf Hitler, which I think is going to be quite impressive considering how unpopular Adolf Hitler was.
Because I mean, like his idiot notion and the fact that people are still looking outwards every time he says tariff on a country, they should just look inwards and say, I can't buy that. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. Like that's all that this is doing. I don't know if it's like long COVID or something, like something's wrong with the billionaire brain these days. Maybe they got double, triple vaxxed or no vax, or they ate hydrochloroquine. Maybe it's a hydrochloroquine thing, but there's just like a brain rot in a bunch of people where they use words that are wrong, but maybe and then like as a rational adult, I try to like figure out what they're talking about. And then I start filling in these gaps. And then over time, you just realize, wait, do you know what a tariff is? And the answer is still no. He doesn't get what it is. He still thinks he's going to be getting money from these countries. Like, he still says it. He doesn't know what it is. He thinks he's taxing other countries is what he thinks he's doing. So when none of that money shows up, because I can tell you right now, the American people don't have this $1 trillion that they're thinking that they're going to, that additional $1 trillion to pump out of our own economy. Like, I don't know what they're thinking that's going to do for them.
Yeah.
Especially when they're canceling every single social program that they can think of. And now they're got their sights set on the Smithsonian to start changing history books. Where have we seen this before?
Well, this is really, really disturbing, like, and upsetting as well, because they're not just trying to rewrite history; they're trying to rewrite science and innovation and invention, and just like everything that so many government researchers and scientists have been sacked or threatened, and people are leaving in droves. There's a massive brain drain going on in the States at the moment, and now they're trying to get rid of museums telling the truth to people about what actually happened in history. And it's so fucking hard to tell people the truth. I walk out on the street right here in Durham and I'll ask people about the British Empire. Was it a good thing or a bad thing overall? They'll all say it was a good thing. And they'll all say, oh, we should get back to that. We should get back to that. Because they don't know what we did. They have no fucking clue, Mikey.
And that's what these museums embarrassingly, and that's what these museums are for. And last time me and my wife went down to my home city, St. Louis, they have underneath the Gateway Arch, they have a museum underneath, and it is in your face. These motherfuckers broke a treaty with the Native Americans, and that's why they had this section. And these people said people were free, and then they lied to them, and then they would sell them to other. Like, they are. I love the Show Me State, because I'm telling you, it is. And we were like taken aback, like, this is being preserved. So then when kids come through and they read this, they don't like say, oh, this is like a Little House on the Prairie. Like, no, it's not like a TV show. It's not like any of that. This is what happened in this city before your great-great-grandpappy got here. This is what it was like. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. Not putting up monuments for foreign, at this, you know what I mean, insurrectionist, foreign enemies to the state. Generals will name things after. That's like us naming stuff after like the Japanese generals. Like do we name high schools after Hitler and the Japanese generals? Absolutely
I think they would like to name some stuff after Hitler, like Adolf Hitler and stuff like that. But, I mean, look, we're just as guilty over here. I'm embarrassed that I did my GCSEs. I did history in GCSEs. I did a history A level. I studied history at university. And yet, when I left university, I knew fuck all, Mikey, because you taught a syllabus, you taught a curriculum, and they leave a lot of the really bad stuff out because they don't want to tell you, and I guess there's a certain unease or whatever, or they don't want to have an argument. But it's amazing because most teachers are pretty left wing. Most teachers are pretty right on. Most teachers are woke. And yet, like, I still can't quite get over the fact that it wasn't until I was 38, 39 years old, and I was in Ireland. I went to the Republic of Ireland. I went to Northern Ireland, and I met one of the guys who helped write the Good Friday Agreement as part of the podcast that I was doing at the time. And I did not know up to that point that as a result of the potato famine and the way that the British reacted to it, the Irish population still hasn't recovered from what it was in the 1840s.
Wow.
And even though I studied the bloody Irish potato famine in school and in university, that little fact never came up.
And I think what the missing thread there that is occurring in all school systems is that pinpoint of the past, the potato famine, and then today. And they need to pull that string taut so that you can connect it to today so that people can give a shit about what you're talking about. But they never do that because they have to get you through sections A, B, and C today because we got D, E, and F, and then it's the weekend. So, like, you know what I mean? But there is no connection to what's going on right now. Mark also from Unboxed Politics, he has a history degree. We're going to start doing a show called, and maybe you should come on and be a guest on it, called Millennial History, where we're just going to look at that month, you know, probably like a once a month thing. And then like that month in, what is it? I think it's 81 through 96 or whatever it is. Yeah. That time period, we'll just talk about what happened that month and bring it back up to today because it's the, like, you know, the calendar month of it happening again, because we're not connected to recent history. Like the potato famine is one thing, but there's people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that never knew that Tulsa got burned down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have no idea that there was a Black Wall Street. They heard about them, but they thought there was one in Georgia, there was one in Florida, there was one in North Carolina. They had no idea they were like living 2 blocks away from where it used to stand. Yeah.
And it was burned down by racists, backed by the government, backed by the local police, backed by the local militia. They went in there because, you know, they don't want black people to have anything. The reason why there's no healthcare system in America, when every other country in the world was setting up universal healthcare in some way or another, the reason why America didn't is because the white people didn't want the black people to have access to that same shit.
They'll live forever.
And talk about shooting yourself in the cock. Like the white Americans who stood in the way of progress because they were like, well, we want progress for ourselves, but we don't want it for everybody. And they fucked themselves. Now we're here in 2025.
It is so apparent that bigotry wastes money.
Yes.
And all they care about is money. Take whatever you need from anybody. I don't care what your religion is. What are you, non-binary? Sounds great. You got my product? Great. Have a great day.
Yeah,
all of y'all, you know, like, who cares, man? Just get the money. But they can't get it's like the Spider-Man or like the dude looking over his shoulder meme. It's like they're holding the hand of capitalism, but bigotry is like, that bigotry though.
Did you ever get a show in the US called Fawlty Towers, an old sitcom with John Cleese in it?
Maybe.
It was a show about a guy who ran a hotel down in Devon or Cornwall or somewhere, and he just absolutely hated all of his guests that come in. He just hates them all. He doesn't want them wasting his time. He's trying to run a hotel here. He can't be dealing with guests. And that's the way, like, some people run their business. They're like, oh, a customer who wants to give me money, but they're the wrong color or the wrong sexuality or they've got the wrong accent. I don't want your money. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like, I'll take your money, you know, end of.
Money. Thank you.
Thank you. You know,
like
that goes out to right-wing oligarchs, by the way. If you want to give me loads of money, I'll take it. I'm not going to do what you want me to do, but I'll take it off you. Jesus.
And it's crazy because like the amount of times I've been called a racist by some crazy MAGA person in this podunk town. It's crazy, dude. Like,
what, you're racist against orange people,
white people. That's why I wouldn't take his parents' debit card to buy gift cards. Tweaker running around trying to get drug money, so he jacked his parents. I was like, no, I'm not giving you nothing. You're just doing this because I'm white.
Pete Connor in the chat saying Fawlty Towers is actually the best sitcom ever made. I remember an American comedian coming over and saying he used to watch it as a kid, and then he came over to the UK and he realized it wasn't a comedy, it was actually a documentary. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, you got a point there. Questionable Absanity, thank you very much. Questionable Absanity, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. History shows a pattern of rich people clearing the land of people they have to provide service for. This is a global wave, and anarchy is required. I don't know. I don't like the idea of anarchy when there's some people with all the resources and other people with none.
I goes where I goes.
But this is what they're designating as normal, right? And a complete abuse of the rules and a complete, like, you just don't have to listen to them. This is what you tell the public. This is why the president is supposed to be this stoic, statuesque, just pillar of integrity, because people will follow your example. You want them to think that there's no rules? Elon, do you really think that they're just going to be spray painting your cars if they lose their money for real, for real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, they are going to be putting them in trebuchets and launching them at your rockets. Like, turn them into siege weapons.
Apparently, Faulty Towers are set in Devon. Thanks for that one, Angry Pagan. I knew it was one of the two. So Staring into Eternity says the Highland clearances occurred in Scotland around the same time as the famine in Ireland. This is why the Scottish Highlands are so empty today. They weren't always a wilderness. And I thank you for putting famine in inverted commas. Should also make that point. This was a man-made famine. Yes, right. There was a potato blight, but hey, there's other vegetables to grow. But because of the way the British ran the system in Ireland, it meant that people were completely reliant on one particular starchy vegetable to stay alive, because that's the way the British ran it. And even in the height of the famine, the British were exporting food. We did the same thing in Bengal in World War II. 1 million people died. 1 million people died in a place where there should have been enough food for everyone, but we needed it for the war effort, so we just stole all their food and let them die. Not good. Not good.
Y'all suck.
And Plumsdorf says, my hatred of Trump has gone off the scale. Is Pete still breathing? Just, you're okay. I can't stand him. I will just party when he carks it. I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be made up.
You want to hear something funny?
Go on.
I heard our what is he? Secretary of Defense. God, this sounds weird. Pete Keg's Breath. I was like, that's it. Keg's Breath. That is what his last name was supposed to be. Keg's Breath.
Because he's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic.
He can't stop. And the questions about the questions about Signalgate are kind of starting to get wait, was he drunk? Because apparently the information,
of course he was drunk. He's always drunk.
The information that he put into that group chat, if it came from like another source, did you copy and paste from your classified document onto your unclassified personal cell phone group chat with a journalist in it? Like, come on, man. You got to give it up. You got to get some tea, some chew some ginger or something, valerian root. Yeah. You got to change it up, man. Ginkgo biloba. Do something.
Well, he's an alcoholic with fascistic tattoos, isn't he?
You got a new one. Did you see?
Oh God, no.
He's got infidel under here.
What, the word infidel?
In Arabic. Underneath Deus Vult.
What a fucking dickhead. What an absolute prick.
So how are we supposed to send you over to talk to other people?
I think
you know what I mean?
Well, he wouldn't go to a Muslim country because he couldn't get alcohol because he wouldn't be lubricated.
Oh, that's what he should have been the envoy to Saudi Arabia. 6 months over there, the nice hot sun would have dried up all the residual liquor in his liver. Would have been nice.
He's also a rapist.
Oh, yeah.
He's not just an alcoholic. This man raped women. At least one that we know of, but probably more. And when he was asked about it, he was asked why he went to the hotel room with that woman who wasn't his wife in his Senate hearings. He was like, oh, it's what we all do, innit? Because we're all fucking morally bankrupt in the Republican Party. And all his little Republican mates went, yeah, we're morally bankrupt. Yeah. Oh, Tim Bannon has just dropped £5 in the petty cash. Thank you very much to Tim for the super chat, my friend.
Air horn.
Need to see Trump's insurance claim for his golf course. As he said, it was terrorism, a thing excluded from nearly all insurance policies. Well, I don't think it would be necessarily excluded from certain, insurance claims, because otherwise that's a bit of a red rag to terrorists to bankrupt people.
Who's gonna enforce contracts?
Well, no, this is in the UK. So his golf course in Scotland, the building has been daubed with like orange paint or red paint, and it looks much better now. I think they should invade. I think they should invade one of his golf courses, take about, I don't know, a fifth of the land, maybe. Control the entrances and exits, and then demand that they hand over the rest of it to him.
Put migrants
to the
migrants
invaders.
on it. Put migrants on it. Build nice migrant homes on there. He'll love that.
Oh, I would actually fucking love that if we just started
just turning it into housing, communal housing.
Yeah, all golf courses, every single golf course in the UK turn into housing. Social housing.
Dude, they can go get in a simulator. No one cares about your boring wastes of grass that you trim down to such weird OCD levels of difference. Like, we get it. You like the mower, dude. Give it up.
Yeah.
Give it up.
No, we in Liverpool in particular and around Liverpool, we have like more golf courses per capita than anywhere else on earth. And we also have some of the highest levels of poverty in the UK. And I'm just like, those two things shouldn't be living cheek by jowl. Build on the golf course. You don't want us to build on greenbelt land? Okay, cool. We'll build on the golf courses then.
Just put some right wherever their parking lot is. That's where you put the mailbox, and then you can have some paths that go away into like some apartment buildings that are nice. Dude. This is what's going to happen. The cops are going to be busy rounding up people that Trump doesn't like. Everybody's going to be running around doing crazy shit. Yeah. I mean, let them have the golf courses, because what are they going to do? Go out there with clubs, on the golf court and just try to like joust people away? They're going to set up traps for that thing after day one. So there's no way they're going to do it on day two. And then now they're in 2 days. That is all it took to conquer your golf course.
We've got two great super chats that come in. One from Alistair up in Scotland. Thank you very much, Alistair. 2 golf courses, Graham. Apparently they dug up the greens on one. What a shame. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. And then we've got Chris C. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Place a wind farm on Trump's golf course.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you could put them.
Let's do it.
We don't want to put it too close to the shelter for the migrants, because it gives you brain 5G tumor cancer. I don't know. He thinks everything gives you cancer except for fossil fuels.
Yes,
which
do of it.
Yeah, which make you live forever.
They clean out your lungs, all the soot and the microparticulates. They clean your lungs out.
But you got to get that fume nice and hot, and then breathe it in. Do not do that. Well, if you do it, you'll realize why it's not a good idea.
Jay Leeson is saying, so you don't like golf? I love golf. Mario Golf on the Game Boy was one of the best golf games. And what you could do is you could press reset by pressing start, select A and B all at the same time. If you missed, you could just keep doing that until you got a hole in one.
You are that kid. You are that kid who would just
absolutely
just cheese it, just keep spamming the same move.
I love golf, but I don't love it as much as I hate poverty. So let's have some places for people to live.
They have
and then we
VR.
Can worry about
they have
knocking
VR
a ball
golf.
around the park.
They have VR golf. You can just put on the headset. You can swing your own clubs. You hit an actual ball. It goes where it would actually go. It's all been done. Or just go do Top Golf, which is more fun anyway.
Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, Tim. Being very kind tonight. You learn a lot on anti-terrorist training courses. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a red rag to a bull. If you think about if Elon Musk is going to say that it's terrorism every time someone burns down his Tesla lot, like happened in Italy, I think, over the weekend. There was an Italian Tesla showroom that got burnt down. If he says it's terrorism, then he doesn't get any money.
Oh, wait. You said it was... I'm so sorry. Just so sad. So sad. And he called...
Questionable...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I've got a super chat coming. Questionable insanity. Anarchy is rules without rulers. Libertarianism is rulers without rules. Anarchy is not chaos. Anarchy has been misrepresented by the media.
It's true.
I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of different flavors. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Well, I think there's lots of different flavors of anarchy. Like there's lots of different flavors of democracy, and autocracy can come in all different flavors as well. And most of the flavors of anarchy that we've actually seen play out in real life haven't been that great. But you know, I'm keeping an open mind. Anyway, Mikey, what were we going to say? Sorry, before I rudely interrupted you to read out the super chat.
I don't remember. I do like a stream of consciousness kind of joking thing. So whatever that joke was, in some timeline, they are cracking up.
Biggest Dogger says every golf course I have played on had a windmill hole, which is boss. And Chris C says golf is boring. Well, that's
hey, if you need a good nap and that PGA Tour is on,
Alistair Kerr has put £5 in the super chat fund. Thank you very much. Question: has the tariff on oil done anything in the US oil from Canada yet? Have oil prices gone up, Mikey, in the last week, or are they still staying? You've got a strategic reserve and stuff, haven't you? Is it?
Yeah, which he's gonna burn through immediately. It hasn't been too bad. I think we're at like 3 something a gallon, like 3.30. But I mean, it's been
how many liters in a gallon? It's about 4.
I don't know.
About 4 liters, isn't it?
Why don't you do everything else Imperial? Why don't you do your freaking fuel Imperial?
We mix it up, man. We just like to mix it up.
Don't do that. Hold on.
Oh, gallons in the UK are different size to the gallons in the US as well.
That makes it easier.
I think a pint's different in the US as well. I think in a pint is 525 milliliters.
Oh, that's ice cream.
In the UK, it's 568 milliliters. I don't know.
Only pints I care about are ice cream.
Okay. Did we find out how many liters there are in a gallon?
I'm just double checking the national average.
So you're paying less than $1 a liter. God. And all they do is moan.
Yeah, Americans don't travel much, and if they do travel, they don't have to drive. But while I was on the cruise, in like all the little different countries, I'm like, so what's gas per gallon here? And I was in Belize, and they were like, it's about 8.50. I was like, yeah. What did you say?
Well, that's why we don't use gallons for our gas or petrol, because if we did,
it'd just be so sad.
You'd be like, nah, I'm not putting anything in there. UK gallons different from the US. Yes, I know, Alistair. I just want to know how many liters. Okay, Oliver Brown saying 3 liters in an American gallon. Joanna says liters per gallon depends on country. Thanks, Joanna. I need a number. 3.3. Okay. Martin Harris says about 3.3. I'm going to go with that. So you're paying $3 a gallon.
317 times 3.
Oh, mate. No, that's for a gallon. So you got to divide it.
Oh.
You got to divide it. No. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. Sorry. We're paying. Well, no, unless you work out what we're paying.
Then I got
like £1.50 per liter. So times by 3.3, it's about £5, £6.
No, but we got to change the currency first.
But in pounds. The US dollar's going all over the shop at the moment on the currency exchanges. It's really annoying. Every time you go on there,
gold's way up.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's never a good sign, is it?
Nope. That means the market is terrified.
So is Signalgate Rumble to an end then? Is that over? Is that done? Or is it still going to rumble on?
Well, some of the Republicans are starting to find their footing now because they're like, okay, this is too far. Like you said you were going to clean this shit up and you are embarrassing us. And more importantly, like they're worried about domestic terrorists. We have to worry about real terrorists now, because if this is how they're communicating things, we don't know if all of our comms are compromised, because Homeboy is over here taking signal messages and responding to them in Moscow at the Kremlin. So we don't know how much of our intel is in, and I don't think Tulsi Gabbard's gonna jump up and stop everything and lock everything down. So it's not like she talks to everybody. So this is we may not have to worry about domestic terrorists because our national security is fucked. They put the drunk dude from fucking Fox News and Friends on Saturday.
Yes.
Like, that was not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, like, NATO are not sharing info. That's what you're going to talk about tonight. NATO countries and don't want to share info with the US because they don't know where it's going to go.
Right. And especially with all of this stuff with Greenland and Panama and the illegal sending people to El Salvador, we're starting tariff wars with our neighbors. That doesn't and now you're having leaks.
Yeah.
Why would anybody want to work with us? So when Russia comes, when Russia and China say, all right, you ready to get America? Okay, here we go. Like, who's coming?
Yeah. Well, Russia. I honestly, I think that Trump someone's drawn a circle for Trump, so that's the Arctic Circle, and then they've drawn a line down the middle, a nice, beautiful straight line down the middle,
the beautiful
Russia
line.
And not Russia, and they've said you can have all the not Russia, and he's gone. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful line. Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Best bit is imperial lengths are based on the metric system. 1 inch is exactly 25.4 millimeters. So the Americans use metric measurements. Hey? Okay. That's a bit backwards, but yeah, I kind of get what you mean. So when we talk about how long is an inch, we say that we measure that in millimeters. But I'm guessing that we don't measure millimeters and inches, maybe? I don't know.
It says here that UK gas would be $8.60 a gallon compared to
$8.60 a gallon. That's why we don't have it in gallons, mate. That's why we use liters instead. We should use pints because then it'd be cheaper. We should use imperial pints, and then we'll be like, oh, it's only £1 a pint. That sounds great.
Teaspoons.
Yeah, £1 a pint. Get it in your car. But yeah, Christopher Ball says Hegseth, who worked for phone hackers, believes signal on his phone is safe. There's stupidity, and then there's Hegsworth. Yes, indeed. The man is not all there in different ways. I can't believe he's not cut any of these motherfuckers loose, though. I mean, like, Elon Musk is pulling out of Doge, is he? Did he say this weekend he was not going to be head of Doge anymore?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because if he wants to stay, he has to be certified by Congress or by the Senate.
Yeah, but that's only after 120 days.
That's why he's gonna fall away.
120 days.
They're getting there.
It's only about 60 days since the bloody inauguration, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you're halfway through. That's what I'm saying. Or a third of the way through. He has to plan his exit.
Do you think he's getting out so that he can hide because everyone's going to be coming for him?
Yep. It's getting hot. He don't like it. He bitch made.
Chatty Rat is following up on the point earlier about Ireland. There was no famine. Famines only occur when there's a shortage of food. There was plenty of food in Ireland, but genocidal maladministration by an occupying power caused the Great Hunger. Yeah, Chatty Rat, you're absolutely right. And it's something that happens time and time again in history, and we never learn from history. The famine that we all heard about in the 1980s in Ethiopia shouldn't have been a famine. It shouldn't have happened. It was because of an ongoing war with the country that's now Eritrea, which at the time was part of Ethiopia and didn't want to be. Anyway, yeah. Christopher says Musk has set May for his exit from Doge, some way short of the July 2026 plan they had. And Joanna's complaining about that's really a UK gallon. I really hate slow mode. I'm sorry, Joanna, but if I don't put slow mode on, there's a few people out there, and you know who I'm talking about, who will spam the shit out of the messages, and all you'll see is one person putting like one word.
Well, that's why you get your moderators to just wield the ban hammer, man. As soon as they hit subscribe over here, you can let it rip. Go for it.
I did too many shows. To.
I'm just saying. Hey, my mods are vicious. I don't say nothing. I just like, he's gone. I didn't even get to see what that one all the way was, but it didn't look great. So yeah, I keep a pack of hyenas on me at all times.
Yeah. Blue Badger makes a really good point. You might not know this, but fuel efficiency, right? We talk about miles per gallon.
Right.
But then when we buy petrol, we buy it in liters. Right. So we have no idea.
It doesn't even mean anything to you. You're just like, oh,
Pete's
that's
music saying
that's a good
slow
number.
mode is horrifying. Come on, Pete. For all the things that are going on in the world right now, and this is what's horrifying.
I think it's worse
Be able
than
to spam him.
I think it's worse than everything else that's going on right now. I think they're all right. It is slow mode.
Having to wait 60 seconds between messages.
Oh, it's crippling because especially if you have a typo and then you're like,
yeah, you can delete your message though if you have put a typo in. Although that is really annoying. I've got to say.
And then I gotta look at my mistake instead of me being able to get fired
it
back.
comes up on the screen here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your mistake laughing at you.
Forever.
You can delete your message though if you put a message up. So you can.
But if I take 20 seconds, does it reset my timer and then I have to wait another 60 seconds? Like, this is all bad.
I don't know. You just got to wait a minute between chats.
Maybe on Fridays. You just let it loose.
Just let it rip. Just let them loose.
Yeah.
But what if I get two people who are particularly like chatty and they just take up the whole chat?
And everybody has to remember, you can always block people that are annoying.
What, the people watching this can...
They can block people that they don't want to look at.
Okay, so if someone being a dickhead, they can block them themselves, so they want to see what's coming.
Yeah,
they'll still come up on my screen though, unless I block them as well.
Right.
And Alice Sturm, thank you very much for the super chat. To be honest, being a mod is sometimes a pain. I absolutely agree, mate, and that's why I don't rely on anyone. I don't expect anyone to moderate. If someone's on the chat who can moderate, then I don't mind if they do, but. I put out so much live stuff. It would be a bit unreasonable of me to just expect them.
Yeah. Why would
controllers?
Yeah. Why would people who've been spending all of those friggin' hours with you and they're watching the show anyway want to preserve the community that they're a part of? You're right. That would never happen. You'll never find that. You got Billy out there. Billy will do it. Billy's a mod on mine already. Billy's a mod on my channel already. And he will throw.
If anyone else wants
trash.
to be a mod, let me know and I'll add you to the mod list.
Oh, have tryouts.
Yeah, just in case.
Send an 8x5 glossy.
Yeah. Alice says, I was enjoying trolling the reform thing earlier. I heard the Poundland Trump say something good about Doge here. Do you think the Musk man cometh for them too? Well, yes. Musk has said that he's not going to support refuck, and now he is, or he's not. I don't know.
He's gonna. I think he's just moved his focus to the Eye of Sauron is on Germany first, and he's gonna see what he can do to meddle that shit up, and then he'll go to you guys. Because
there's no the elections happened, doesn't it, in Germany? So
right.
That's over.
So he has to start the seeding of ruining the place.
Yeah, but I mean, there is an issue. There's definitely an issue with. One Angry Pagan said he's happy to mod. I'll just add you to the list. There is an
Another
issue.
Great mod.
Yeah. Thanks, One Angry Pagan. There is an issue with him interfering in other people's countries, but then at the same time, in Germany in particular, what Tesla sales down like 90% or something in Germany. Everyone's like, "Yeah, see you later, mate. We've already done this. We wouldn't even before. Doing it again.
We wouldn't even put your ugly boats in our river.
Yeah,
just take them back.
Yeah."
So the beauty of it is, like, as much as Trump's trying to spin this as like, oh, we're gonna have this American-made car and all that. Did he not realize what Elon's plan was to have a Tesla plant that had no workers? Yeah. And the cars would just make themselves and then just go out and work. And then he'd make all there was no plan for auto workers initially. He just couldn't get it to work. If he ever figures it out, their asses are gone. Don't get it twisted. American made. What does that even mean? That the guy collecting the check lives here? If that's all it takes for a company to be that, I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Alice Stem's also saying happy to mod. I'll put you on, mate. Thank you very much for that. I've got to say as well, though, we don't get too many trolls on this channel. Touch wood. We just don't. I mean, we have episodes where me and Rachel will be talking for an hour, and it's an open chat, and no one's trolling, no one's being offensive, transphobic, or bigoted, or horrible.
I find that when they see some regular blues in the chat, they know what's up.
Yeah.
They don't get too froggy when they see They see the guard dogs are out. Got Rottweilers and pit bulls. All right. Tim is a troll. Tim was a troll, yeah.
Paul says, Graham, tell Mikey who can't run for president now of France. It's Marine Le Pen, who is the leader of the Front National, or they call themselves something else now, but it's the National Front. She's been found guilty of embezzlement of funds, EU funds, and she's been sentenced to 4 years in jail. Whether she'll spend any time in jail is another matter.
Wow.
But the main thing is 5 years she's not allowed to run for office, which means she's not going to be able to run in 2027. And I agree with Stalin. Not about a lot of things, but one of the things
that's
he
the
said,
show. You guys heard it here first. Graham said.
Good old Stalin, good old Uncle Joe. He had the right idea. No,
Joey.
He said, remove the man, remove the problem. And although she's not a man, she might as well be because she's, a fash. And I do not believe that someone else is going to come in her stead who will be as popular as she is. And I only need to look at how unpopular the other Republicans are around Trump. He's very popular. But then when you look at the popularity ratings of everyone around
him... Hi, guys. J.D. Vance here, your vice president. Don't you want to love me, everyone? Love me.
It just starts...
As his face keeps growing bigger and bigger. Yeah. But Nigel Farage, he stood down from refucking this country. He wasn't really involved. And then in the lead up to the election last year, Richard Tice, who was the leader, stood aside to let Farage back in the party because he realised that he needs him. They're not going to win anything without Nigel Farage. So if we take out Nigel Farage for a lovely meal, that'd be fucking dead.
What's Richard Tice's background? That name sounds familiar.
He's a rich, privately educated motherfucker who is part of the far-right fash contingent of British politicians or wannabe politicians who wanted Brexit to happen. So he's a Brexiter, and he was the head of the Reform Party until last year when he stood aside for Nigel Farage to take over because he knew that Farage would win them lots and lots of votes. He is incredibly unlikable, like quite uniquely unlikable. He's just, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? There's nothing there.
My news senses are tingling. I'll find it. I heard that somewhere, and I want to know why he's...
About Richard Tice?
Yeah, I know something about him, but what is it? I don't remember.
He's a gobshite. He's a gobshite.
You carry on. I'll find it here. My Google foo is strong. It should pop up soon.
Okay. Right, so I'll read a couple of messages, but then again, I couldn't do it as I couldn't afford to be a member. For all true members should be mods as they committed cash to the channel. Yes, I agree to a certain extent, but we do have a lot of members. We've got 100 members of the channel, and if someone has a personal beef with someone that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, and they're not being a troll, it can cause trouble. So I don't want to make everyone a mod. For that reason. And also, I just want people to enjoy the show and not have to think, oh shit, I've got to read every fucking message.
It's politics, man. You still gotta... Sometimes you gotta crack the whip. Sometimes it's,
I just want people to have a good time. Staring into eternity says, AI will replace all jobs within the next few years. No more of this, just work harder, just pull yourself up with your bootstraps. We either get UBI or we starve. I don't think AI is going to replace all jobs, just like computers and the internet didn't replace all jobs. But I think some jobs that shouldn't really be jobs might not be jobs anymore. But, people are still landlords. People are still DJs. They're not real jobs.
How dare you? How dare you?
Oh, you took the bait.
How very dare you? I rent out turntables on the weekends.
We got iPod shuffles now. It's all right. We've had iPod shuffles for 20 years.
But you're the same guy who oh no, I want to listen to some crunchy old guitar music rather than any this is the anti-EDM guy talking about some what are DJs for? You're just jealous.
What's the bloody point?
It's all clicks and whistles.
In my day, it was all little banjos. It was all ukuleles. Ukuleles and coconuts.
And then you had a kazoo, and your friend brought a kazoo.
Ukulele, coconut, and the kazoo. Oh, how we rocked. We rocked, mate. We absolutely rocked. Anyway, what else happened in Trumpville today in America? There's been a lot of kickback over this. What's going to happen with these tariffs, which are going to go on every country? My handle on Twitter is at every country, and when I read that, I thought, oh, he's putting tariffs on me. But also, apparently, he's really, really angry with Vladimir Putin. Do you think Vlad's not? Do you think he's not getting a reach around tonight? Is that he's so upset?
Did Vladimir lie to you? Oh, if only somebody, I don't know, 30 million people warned you, hey, he's going to hustle you, dude. Like, they briefed you on this last time, but in his defense, he probably has no recollection of his first term other than Joe Obama and all the other fucked up names that he can't fucking decipher anymore. Like, yeah. Like we warned you that Putin was going to use you. Oh, I had a great call. We talked for 2.5 hours, kicking our toes up at the ceiling fan and just being girls. Like, I don't know what he thought. Like, Putin didn't give up anything. You got Ukraine to completely back down. You had Elon cut off their satellites. They got no information from us. And so they gave up their minerals because they were about to be slaughtered. So they had to. And now you're like, this Putin don't listen to me. You think? He was bombing them while he was on the phone with you, jackass. He's literally sending out the orders like, no, go ahead. Yeah, I'm back. Sending out orders at the same time.
Yeah. It's just...
So
is
stupid.
he that, how can anyone be that anyway, a question about Absanity. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. If you use kilowatt hours for all energy, you will see that 1 litre of petrol has enough energy to fuel a cyclist for 30 days because 2,400 kilocalories equals 2.79 kilowatt hours. 1 human equals 100 watts. Please don't drink petrol if you're thinking of going on a cycle ride, okay? Because it doesn't quite work that way, but I know what you're getting at. So thanks very much, Questionable Sanity.
Graham, what? He's saying drink the cyclist. You're so...
drink the cyclist,
come on. It's right there.
Put him in a blender.
You just... It's Soylent Green, that bad boy. Now I have your kilowatt hours. Give them to me.
Come in, Mr. Cyclist. I'll make you a drink. And then you put them in like a really massive blender.
Full of
the giant Doritos. Sorry, I just went down a very weird angle.
But it's
Alice.
It's okay because no one likes cyclists.
Alice, okay, my understanding of the term toll is wrong. I was asking questions of the Reform chat. They couldn't answer them. Thanks very much, Alice. Yeah, the Reform people are just... They're liars and spivs and second-hand car salesmen, dodgy second-hand car salesmen.
From someone from a recently fallen empire, let me warn you, British folk, you need to mock them senselessly. You need to go to their districts. You need to talk to just like Bernie Sanders is doing right now and Tim Walz and AOC. There is no reason that good-minded people can't go out and reach out to these people to break the spell. You must break the fever. You got to slap some cold water on their face. You have to wake them up out of this because it is only going to you're going to have to make friends with Canada and Europe because we are clearly not going to be able to bail you out in this one. We don't have it in us. It's just not there. It's just not in the cards. It's not happening. We've got to be honest about where we're at, and we're going to be rebuilding for probably the next 20 years. So we'll be over here with the construction hat on, and I need you guys to not let the miasma drip over there, please.
Got some great comments coming in here. We've got Sarah Davis saying, drinking petrol gives you gas. Russell Cannon saying, I brought my own spanner. Any nuts need tightening? And then I read this by Jay. I read, his mods will not last long. He will say something else tomorrow. He keeps himself at the center of the universe all the time. Is it time to ignore him? And I thought you were talking about me, and then I realised you didn't write mods. You wrote moods, but I read it as mods because we've been talking about mods in the chat. I thought you were talking about me. You were talking about Trump.
I thought he was talking about you too.
Yeah, fucking give me something there, man. Time to ignore him. Stupid ginger bastard.
I was like, well, my bad. I didn't know it would flip so quickly. The infamy was ready.
Joanna says, Graham, don't be polite. They're just thick. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You know, they say they don't want us to be woke. They say they don't want us to have empathy. And we go, okay, then. You fucking idiots, and we're going to burn down your fucking Tesla dealership. And then they're like, oh, why aren't you more woke? Why aren't you more empathetic?
I thought you were the party of empathy. Why are you letting me bully you?
Yeah, we're laughing at the fact that the Tesla stock's just dropping through the floor. He's like, oh, it's so
he called,
mean.
you know what, did you hear what he called? Did you hear the insult he called Walls?
Yes. Yeah.
A big jerk.
He's a big jerk. He's such a jerk. He's a jerk. He's the way he said jerk as well. But
he's a big jerk.
He's a big jerk.
Like, dude, you are the richest guy on the planet, and you're mad that somebody has a sign up of your shitty stock, and you're over here like, that guy's a jerk, man.
There was a comedy show in the UK in the 90s, and one of the comedy sketches on it with these two teenagers called Kevin and Perry, who were always like, oh God, you're so unreasonable. You know, typical teenagers. And they had a house party that like no girls came to, and then just some lads turned up and smashed the place up. And their parents come back in and they find like everything smashed and the TV's been robbed. And they're both on the couch going, bigger boys came. And that is Musk. That you could put those two images together with Musk going, he's a jerk. And bigger boys came.
Just somebody Photoshop Elon on the couch with them. He needs to be there. Yeah. And then put JD Vance under there sniffing the couch.
Oh. I just want to wake up one morning and just not have to worry about the news, not have to worry about, you know, what the exchange rate is going to do, or, you know, the price of my groceries is what's going to happen to me, you know? Like, why is what happening in your country affecting me? We're like thousands of miles away. This is ridiculous.
Because
it shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Because we're a lot more connected than we realize. You know, we gave up all of that sovereignty a long time ago because we figured out we don't have oil here and they do. We don't have lumber here and they do. We have a lot of ships. Maybe we can move post transatlantic slave trade. Everyone kind of got a little bit better. You know, as soon as more people became free, things got better. The more trade we did amongst each other, things got better. Things got cheaper. And then and then we had our tech boom, and now the tech neo-Nazis have decided, no, now we turn it all off. It's like, this is why we will never get to Star Trek, is because we always got some Ferengi motherfuckers clogging up the works, making everything go backwards. Now we're gonna have to redo all this shit. God. One thing I have been hearing though is there might be a real U.S. mandate, if this thing is cobbled back together, that the next Democrat candidate is getting universal health care. Like, it's going to be it's not even going to be an issue now. Because it's like, do you want more of this shit, or are we going to make them pay for our health care? Like, this might have been the leverage to galvanize everybody against enough of the rich folk to say, no, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if FDR thought he had a mandate on rebuilding this country, if AOC gets in after this dickwad, holy shit, utopia, here we come. But that's far off on the horizon. It's just a little tiny speck out there.
Gotta go through the shit first, mate.
Oh, man, shit. I mean, we're
gotta go through the shit, like the Great Depression or the war, and then you've got to decide to make things better, like America did after the war, and then have these... You know, those years of the boom in America where you could just be a postman. You could just be like working
the
in a
milkman,
factory, and you could afford a house on one income and 2 children and a car. Can't do that anymore.
The milkman had a career, a house, a wife, and a mistress. Multiple mistresses. This is not possible this is not possible these days. You cannot do this on once. You can't afford that kind of stuff. And if that's the kind of days they want to go back to, that's fine. But that just means that the employers have to pay. And they have been pushing and pushing and pushing this line since the 90s. Just pushing and pushing just to see, okay, we'll just go until they shut us down. We'll just keep going until and it's just this creep. And it's this awful, and that's the malaise that I feel like a lot of the American people are feeling, and they don't know who to be mad at about it. So they're trying to be mad at this, and they're trying to, the immigrants are taking their jobs, and that's why my job is not giving me a raise. What are you talking about? That guy doesn't even work in this building. What does that have to do with you getting a raise? It's a totally separate company. Why would that change your pay? You've been at the same job for 15 years and you refuse to negotiate higher wages for yourself because you were told that unions were socialist. And then you won't support a union in your shop to get all of you better wages and to hold your CEO or owner accountable. Yeah. But I feel like the labor movement, I think, is growing and it's building because people, and now that Doge is like taking people's entitlements, now people are kind of starting to open their eyes to like, okay, what the fuck financially is going on in this company, and how the hell did all these people get this much money, and how come the bottom 50% of people have improved like 10 grand versus the 3,000 times return that the same people that the top percent has been getting. Like, it's starting to connect.
Yeah,
and that's what I've been preaching for Trump. Like, all this shit he's doing is dangerous. Because people were already not doing well, which is why Biden failed with his, this is the best economy in the world, so shut up. I'm not getting hosed every day. Like, my food hasn't been getting more expensive. Everything has been getting more expensive. The Democrats refused to listen to that. Well,
it made him look so out of touch to be like that. Well, what's your problem? The economy's doing good. And the economy was doing great, to be fair, but just people weren't feeling it. And throwing some things out. I watched a really good video on, I think it might have been the New York Times put it out or something like that. And they were talking about the fact that the Democrats put loads and loads of roadblocks in the way when you're trying to build anything. So they want to build all this progressive shit, but then at the same time, they ask everyone if they're okay with it. And that's not the way to get things built. The Chinese do not ask if everyone's all right with them building high-speed rail across their country. They just go, we're building high-speed rail. You're in the way. You're going to have to fucking move. And this was used in the past to attack certain communities, as we know. When the freeways were blasted through black communities in America. Same thing happened in the UK. So if you ever hear of Scotland Road in Liverpool, it was where a lot of the Irish immigrants lived, and there's a big sort of community there. And it was destroyed. It was all ripped apart to build a big 6-lane motorway thing in the middle of the city. You can only drive at 30 miles an hour along. So yeah, great. Thanks for that one. So as a reaction to that, the Democrats were like, well, we need to put things in place so this can't happen again. But in doing so, they've given the opposition, given the Republicans, and in this country, we gave the Conservatives the right to put in rules like our ban on wind farms that said that if one person objected to the wind farm that was being proposed, they didn't even have to fucking live in the county where it was being built. It couldn't be built.
I will say they get to be impaled on the wind farm if they are the one like it's and I think it's like the abundance thing or whatever. I think Pod Save America was talking about it too, like that abundance plan where they just want to loosen up some of the regulations to really like get things going in an ethical way. I don't buy it for a fucking minute. That is coming straight out of Silicon Valley. That is coming straight out of the people who are living on the West Coast and they own half of the houses and homes in the Midwest, and they rent them out as Airbnbs. Kiss my ass. We don't need your help. We need you to enforce some law. We don't need you to reinvent the wheel. We need you to tax people appropriately, and we need you to I want to send it over to my state senator. There needs to be a provision in Illinois law where if you're not an Illinois company, you should not be able to own more than 5 properties.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So
I think you should be allowed to own more than 2 properties. Like as a person, maybe if there were 2 of you as a couple, you could have a property each. That would be maximum. But as far as I'm concerned, it should be like supper. You don't get served until everyone's had, everyone's had a bit, and then you can go for seconds. You can go for seconds after everyone else has been served. Because it's not happening. People in this country, we've got a waiting list of hundreds of thousands of people waiting to get a house. People can't afford houses. People can't afford somewhere to live. We can't afford to have children. We can't afford to have mistresses or midlife crises.
Where's my Corvette?
Where's my midlife crisis?
Where's my convertible Corvette?
That's what I reverse midlife crisis. I left my Paradise Island in Panama with my speedboat and my bikini babes, and I'm now a suburban stepdad in Durham.
It's
How's that for a midlife crisis, ladies and gents?
Because it like with their framing of it, it's almost as if, yeah, we'll just try this new thing because the old way just didn't. No. The old way would have worked just fine. You guys just stop enforcing it. Like Citizens United needs to be gone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The Electoral College needs to be gone. Rich people need to be taxed appropriately. Healthcare is a right.
Tagged. They should be tagged so we can chase them.
Well, you just watch for the chemtrails that they leave throughout the air.
But rich people fuck things up more than everybody else. Rich people are more likely to fly more often, so they're fucking up the environment. They're more likely to have heavier cars. Rich people tend to have, they're the people who buy Hummers and fucking shite like that, big SUVs, and they do more damage to the roads.
And why
they're more likely to crash. They're more likely to cause. Because they're assholes.
It's a tax write-off. You can write off of your car if it's over 6,000 pounds. Guess how much a G-Wagon is?
Wow.
6,005 pounds.
Wow.
That's why. They can write the whole fucking thing off.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying. Like, shit like that needs to not be a thing.
Yeah.
Rich
people need to stop getting free stuff.
Yeah. And then they're like...
You're rich enough. Fucking pay for it.
And they're like, oh, well, we have to keep giving them all these... incentives and discounts, or else they'll leave. Let them go.
Well,
the economy will make more millionaires if you let the old ones leave. Yeah. Let them go. There should be, if you want to be a millionaire here, just be ready to fucking move out, and you're going to go spend your money somewhere else because you can't stay. Once you get to like $50 million, all right, pack your bags. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Go spread the love. Get the fuck out.
I was thinking about this the other day because we're in trouble in this country because our Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, she went to a gig. I think she went to see Sabrina Carpenter or someone live, and she didn't pay for the ticket. And the thing is, I think the way around this is fine. You get in, but you've still got to pay for a ticket. That's it. That's a new rule. So we'll put you on the guest list, but you've just got to pay for it if you're a politician. Everyone else can just be on the guest list and get in for free. But I've been to gigs where I've been on the guest list and still had to pay for a ticket. If you want to go to Glastonbury and you got a mate who's playing Glastonbury and they get you a ticket, you still got to pay for it. You don't get it for free. So that's fair enough.
Everybody puts it in the cup. Everybody.
Yeah. Joanna says, wealth tax don't work. They just move the money. Land tax on physical non-movable assets. Also, the video said chemtrails probably expect a big blue banner on the non-live version. Lol. What's that about?
Oh, because I talked about a conspiracy theory.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
I forgot.
We already had the woman who accused
conspiracy theory.
The woman who accused Prince Andrew has been in a car accident and she's only got a couple of days to live. Apparently, her kidneys have shut down. And instantly, in our politics social chat, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a bit coinky dinky, isn't it?" And then I'm reading it, I'm just lurking, and I know someone's gonna tag me and say, "Hey, Graham, what do you think of this?" Because they know that I hate conspiracy theories. So I just posted the old GIF of Homer Simpson disappearing into the
bush. Yeah,
just like. Scott, I'm not getting involved in this.
Scott over here on the bin side says 100% death tax. Spend it before you cark it. Oh my goodness.
Cark it. Yeah, that's an expression meaning to die. I completely agree, Scott.
Cark.
I completely agree.
No gifting or owning more property than you have people in your immediate family, etc. Well, tax going from 99% at over 10 million to raising 99% at 10. Yeah.
I think that inheritance tax should be 100% after a certain amount, and that's it. And if you want to gift stuff while people are still alive, you can do that. You just can't hoard it. At least then the money's moving, and then when it moves, you can tax it.
One of my favorite things about my city, St. Louis, the zoo, the history museum, the art museum, Forest Park in general, it's all free. And it's like, I think 4 times bigger than Central Park. It's this huge, expansive, I'm talking about like big storybook trees where you can just like sit under it with like a, you know, like I feel like the Never Ending Story kid read a book under there sometime. Like it's just very picturesque and it's very nice. And all of it is free forever.
Wow.
Because old rich people said, I'm not giving it to the government. I'm starting this foundation. All of my money goes to here, and I want cheetahs in St. Louis, and I want everybody to see them forever. Like, it's all been endowed by old. So, like, if you're not doing that with your billions of dollars, then you're not on my team. If you don't have that written down somewhere that you're going to, like, preserve the platypus in perpetuity in your very special reserve somewhere, like, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because if you have like $2 billion or something like that, I ran the math on this one day. Just the interest from your $2 billion is sitting in the bank.
Yeah,
it gets to a level where you have to spend millions of dollars a day if you want to spend all 2 million of that. Which is so, I could buy this and but yeah, that was the first week. Now you got to do that for a month, and then you got to do that for 12 months of spending millions of dollars a day. It's not happening. It's not happening. So what ends up happening is the money just gets stuck and it just keeps fucking growing like a fungus. And there is no possible way that these people need this money because there's no way that they could actually spend that money. And if the only thing that they can buy is other things that other people value at these inflated, ridiculous prices, then we're on cue for a collapse anyway. It doesn't work like that. It can't just, all the real money can't just be sucked up into these savings accounts that are just accruing interest. Nah, you got to spend it.
Yeah, get that money moving, and it's why austerity doesn't work. If you make it so that people don't have money, then they don't buy stuff, and if people don't buy stuff, your economy slows down. It's the stupidest thing you can possibly do is austerity. It's taking money away. The smartest thing you can do, 2 things, right? First of all, open all your borders and let anyone who wants to come and live here live here. Secondly, bring in a universal basic income for anyone who does live here, and that's it. Your economy will go into the stratosphere, but we can't have that because of crusty old white people who go, "Oh, we don't like foreigners. We don't like people who talk different to me."
They're gonna love them foreigners when the hotels are dirty and their food isn't cooked and their kids aren't being taught. And like all these low skilled jobs that they think that immigrants do that are and nannies and stuff like that. Look, I've done probably a dozen different jobs, some more glamorous than others, some paid way better than others.
Yeah.
Everybody, like just like the UK and the US and Canada and Japan and everybody is China, we're all connected and we need each other's goods and all that stuff. Every job is important in this country. Every single one of them. The only reason that person has a fucking job in the first place is because something sucked and they needed somebody in that position to make sure that that part of somebody's day didn't suck. There is a reason why all these people are here. And if you guys think CEOs have the general experience of Americans at heart when they're making these horrible fucking decisions to do, the Airbnb guy is on the Doge team.
Yeah.
Like, what does that fucking tell you? The guy who is just ruining housing markets left, right, and center. And he's up there. Yeah. They do not have your best interest at heart at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, well, we better leave it there because we've been chundering on for an extra 20 minutes. You got an extra 20 minutes of the show there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Just a big shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got new mods. We've got One Angry Pagan. We've got Alistair. We've got Diz, who's a mod now. Oh, questionable absurdity. Just as I was about to wrap up. Thank you very much. Questionable. For the £5 super chat. Landlords should have to live in their properties for 1 year, randomly chosen each year. Would improve properties and taking money out of the country. Well, no, I think it should be use it or lose it. And I don't think private landlords should be legal. I think it should be illegal. If you're going to make dealing drugs illegal, then you're going to have to make being a landlord illegal, because being
They'll
a
make dealing
landlord
drugs
is
legal.
just it is just being a drug dealer for middle class people. There's no other way of maximum profit for minimum fucking effort.
I'm
sorry, I just don't think it's a real job.
I mean, that's like getting the patent to or the copyright for like Happy Birthday or something. Like you can't tell people that you have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even
what
if
you do, other people look after my house for me, and they pay me for the privilege. What?
Yeah. And what do you do? What do you do? I bought the patent for bum ba bum. You know the rest. That's me.
Bought the patent. The what?
The copyright.
The patent. For what?
That's what for bum ba bum. Yeah. I don't want to owe myself money here.
Oh, the happy birthday to you.
$10, please. Thank you.
They died like 125 years ago.
I thought you were playing along with the joke with me, but then.
Oh, sorry. Don't sing happy birthday on the telly. That was the one thing you couldn't sing on the telly. Because I remember watching an episode of The Big Breakfast years ago, and they started singing. They're like, no, stop. We don't have the copyright to sing that. Like, what? Well, there's a Spanish one, isn't there? Like Cumpleaños, whatever it is.
Feliz Navidad. No, I'm just kidding. We always sang the Stevie Wonder Black people version.
Feliz Navidad. That's for Christmas, isn't it? No, there is a Cumpleaños song.
Oh, Feliz Cumpleaños a ti. Feliz Cumpleaños.
No, that's the same song. That's the same song.
It's not the same words, man.
But there's one where it's different tune, I'm sure of it. Or maybe I'm getting it mixed up with Feliz Navidad. Oh, well, never mind.
There's a war on Christmas, Graham.
Yeah, we've got a war on Easter at the moment, apparently, according to the taxi driver.
They started with Feliz Navidad.
Yeah. Okay, we need 60 more likes to hit 100. So let's just do it. Let's just give us all, everyone give it a like. I'll give it a like. Everyone give it a like. And we'll head off. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Morning Brew. A big shout out and a thank you to Mikey Famine from the Bin Podcast Network, which you can join by, you can have a look at that.
I love Tesla.
Just tapping on the link in the title of this video. And I'll be Graham Hughes.
And I am Mikey Famine. Thank you guys so much for watching the Bin Podcast Network. And if you have not subscribed to Politics Social, it should be right there-ish. I think right there. Maybe. Yeah. But show them some love too. They've been a great partner in the 2025 in the final season of America.
The final season. The final horrifying season of America.
The series premiere or the series finale. Fuck.
It's going to be like the finale of MASH. Everyone's like, oh, this is so funny. Oh my God, there's a dead baby. What the fuck is going on?
Or like
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the last episode of MASH.
Or I'm thinking it'll be like a mix of Sopranos and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, it's over? Oh, a dragon. Oh.
It was the last couple of seasons were very disappointing, I've got to say, Mikey. Ruth, before we go, we have a £5 super chat. Thank you very much. Good stuff, guys, and thanks for the giggles. You are so welcome. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone watching, everyone who's added to the chat, everyone like Ruth who's dropped in a super chat. You are awesome. And like I say, I'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9 o'clock, Morning Brew, on here, on Politics Social. Until then, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Headliners. Bye.